Good morning, Mr. Cheng, Mr. Hoy, Mr. Chan, Miss Wong, teachers, and fellow schoolmates. I am Yi Liang.
I am Nehal,
And we are from
the CCC Council.
Nehal. Do you know what day it is today?
Yeah, I know, it's Total Defense Day.
That's right, Nehal.
Before we proceed with our presentation, let us now invite the UG Council and Swiss Winds to proceed with the Total Defense Commemoration Ceremony.
We will now hand over the time to the Parade Commander, Master Sergeant Jeff Chang Jie-Lun from National Cadet Corps Air. The Sergeant Major will now be commanding the Colour Party and the Guard of Honor to march in.
Thank you, UG Council and Swiss Winds. School, please take a seat.
Nehal, do you know the significance of the various elements of Total Defense Parade?
The marching signifies the sense of patriotism in the citizens, and the bugle is played to mark the start and the end of the march.
Also, the drums are played to keep the soldiers marching in tempo. It also helps to coordinate the soldiers' movements with the beats.
Before we move on, we will now watch the Total Defense message by Defense Minister Dr. Ng Eng Hin.
The fight against the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 revealed the power of total defense. When citizens were united in purpose and actions against a common enemy for total defense, the damage from viral outbreaks in those countries was moderated. In stark contrast, death and destruction ensued when the population was fractured, each concerned more with self-interest. As in a war, the virus disrupted nearly all forms of normal activity and curtailed individual liberties. Lives and livelihoods were at stake if that country was overwhelmed. The global toll has been as great as any previous world wars. At latest count, over 2 million people have died from the disease. As we commemorate Total Defense Day, we ask ourselves, did Singapore pass the test against COVID-19? I say with gratitude, a resounding yes. Singapore did not have it easy when the pandemic broke out into the migrant worker community, with tens of thousands affected. Many workers, especially in hard-hit sectors like travel and hospitality, lost income or jobs entirely. Yet, when the circuit breaker and other restrictions were imposed, Singaporeans rallied together and put the interests of Singapore before self. The result was clear for everyone to see, that total defense in action saves lives and jobs. While infections soared in countries around the world, the spread within our community was contained. Our hospitals were not overwhelmed, and most importantly, deaths were kept down. Our healthcare workers, including those within the SAF, put themselves at risk and took care of those infected while protecting themselves. Economic agencies in MTI and EDB kept supply chains intact so that we did not face shortages of food or other essentials. They also pre-ordered vaccines so that we are among the first to start mass vaccinations. Security forces within the SAF and the Home Team did not let down their guard. Law and order were maintained and our key installations protected. Businesses complied with restrictions imposed, and while many suffered a drop in revenue initially, recovered when volumes picked up. Companies quickly put in plans for staff to work from homes in split teams for business continuity. Many community groups spurred into action spontaneously, whether to sew masks or to help the vulnerable and encourage compliance. Youths delivered food and essentials to the elderly and those under quarantine, and set up translation websites to help medical teams treating migrant workers. Retired doctors and nurses came back to help, and full-time national servicemen extended their service to fight against this pandemic. That cohesion and compliance allowed us to celebrate national events like the National Day and New Year without further outbreaks. It also ensured that we could open our borders early to resume global trade and commerce, which are essential to Singapore's economy. Just as important as what Singaporeans did in response, what did not occur was as crucial. No specific groups victimized or blamed. No fault lines split open. We dealt with COVID-19 as one people, regardless of race, language, or nationality in Singapore. The positive impact is evident, with one of the lowest mortality rates in the world, and where retrenchments did not balloon. Our economy is on, and mass vaccinations have begun. It will take some more time for full recovery to a new normal, but the beginning of this end is in sight. In many years past, we commemorated total defense more as a concept, an exhortation, when the going was good and smooth. There is a silver lining to the terrible COVID year that just ended. It reaffirmed that total defense is a living concept, vital and necessary to ensure our collective well-being and central to Singapore's ability to overcome grave challenges. If total defense springs into action, as it did against COVID-19, then we can face the future, come what may, with optimism and hope. We can be assured that with total defense, not only can Singapore survive each crisis, but will emerge stronger and with Singaporeans more united. This is the power of total defense.
Thank you, Dr. Ng, for his total defense message. So, Nehal, what exactly is total defense?
Total defense is the collective effort of every Singaporean to build a strong, secure, and cohesive nation. This resonates strongly with this year's theme, which is Together We Keep Singapore Strong. But Iliang, why then is Total Defense Day important?
It is to commemorate the anniversary of the British surrender to the Japanese, which is on 15th of February 1942. Additionally, it is to remind us of the pain our forefathers went through during the Japanese occupation. It is thus an occasion to familiarize our people with Singapore's modernized defense so that our country would continue to be safe and secure.
So Iliang, do you know what the 6 pillars of total defense are?
Of course, I remember it by heart. Social defense represents people living and working together harmoniously, and civil defense constitutes the safety and basic needs of the people.
Wait, I know 2 more pillars. Let me have a chance.
Sure.
Economic defense is essential in supporting the economy, especially in times of crisis. Every individual contributes by working hard to ensure Singapore remains competitive and protected from threats. And psychological defense represents everyone's confidence and commitment to our nation's future.
The 5th pillar represents military defense. This means our strong armed forces will defend our nation with us Singaporeans, doing our part in supporting our army.
Lastly, the 6th pillar represents digital defense. This pillar will strengthen our cyber security and help us to be ready to respond to digital threats. As with the other pillars of total defense, we need everyone to participate in digital defense. Enlighten me, Iliang, how can we as Singaporeans contribute to total defense?
Actually, this week we have been involved in learning about total defense. Our Sec 1 and 2 students have learned about economic defense with their discussion of food security. Our Sec 3 to Sec 5 students are learning how to build resilience for psychological defense through their discussion of the challenges of past, present, and future. NCDCC has also shared with us on how simple it is to contribute to civil defense.
Besides that, in an increasingly volatile world, we have to interact more with people of different races, language, or religion so as to strengthen our social defense and stand united as one Singapore. This is especially true in the light of current COVID-19 situation. There's a need for all of us to stand together and keep Singapore strong. Each one of us can do our part to be socially responsible and resilient during this challenging time.
We may just be a red dot, but we must not let anyone belittle us, as we are one strong, united nation. You, me, and all of us have a role to play in total defense. Up next, let us watch this total defense music video. There's a part for everyone.
Right hands and and left. Oh. Okay, now. Let's all help each other so we can make this better together. I'm sure you can help them out. You can teach them how it's done, right?
There's a part for everyone. Understand where we belong. There's a part for one and all to keep our nation strong. Many things that we can do to help defend our land. Let us all do what we can together, hand in hand. Put your heart, your mind, your will to our defense. Put your heart, your mind, your will to our defense. If we all unite as one, we can defend our Singapore with a heart, a mind, a will forevermore. What we have is worth defending with a love that's never failing. Always ready, strong and steady. Let's heed the call, come one and all. There's a part for everyone in this land where we belong. We can do it, you and I. We'll keep our nation strong. Put your heart, your mind, your will to our defense. Put your heart, your mind, your will to our defense. If we all unite as one, we can defend our Singapore with a heart, a mind, a will forevermore. Put your heart, your mind, your will to our defense. Put your heart, your mind, your will to our defense. If we all unite as one, we can defend our Singapore with a heart, a mind, a will forevermore. Put your heart, your mind, your will to our defense. Put your heart and mind, your will to our defense. Oh, and if we all unite as one, we can defend our Singapore with a heart, a mind, a will forevermore. With a heart, a mind, a will forevermore.
What a beautiful song, don't you agree, Iliam? Let us put in our hearts, minds, and will to our defense. If we are all united as one, we can defend our Singapore.
Oh yes, I sure do. With that, let us all rise to observe 1 minute of silence to remember the sacrifices of our forefathers. The buglers from Swiss Winds will now play the last post to commemorate Total Defense Day. School, please stand. School will now observe 1 minute of silence to remember those who had sacrificed their lives during the Japanese occupation.
The buglers will now sound their roost to mark the end of the 1 minute of silence. Thank you, Swiss. We have come to the end of our ceremony. The UG Council will now proceed with the march past.
Kumpulan Panbaji, berkenan dan kiri, sing. Kumpulan Panbaji, dari depan, cepat jalan.
We hope that you now have a better understanding of the significance of total defense.
Thank you everyone for your kind attention and participation in this year's Total Defense Commemoration.
Thank you.